You're a nudist. That's the best news ever, by the way. It's just
It,
like, what is that? What
I
does even nudist mean? Like,
always
you're a
thought about
naturalist. You're a naturalist. You're in your natural element. Um,
natural.
yeah, we've been conditioned in this life, so many weird paths and mindsets. It's insane. But let's just talk about the reason why I get up naked every day and walk around my sanctuary in the sun, waiting for the Father Sun to actually appear. So we are creatures of our ecology. We're creatures of our cosmology. Our entire rhythmic system, from our brain, central nervous system, gut flora, gut axis, transdermal connections between skin, all that stuff, is all finely tuned in by a biological clock, otherwise known as the circadian rhythm. And the circadian rhythm has become popular over the last couple of years, but it's so much more intricate than just understanding what time you go to sleep. There's so many different biological processes that govern every part of your entire internal working system, including your immunological response system, your ability to recruit natural killer cells, your ability to sulfate cholesterol in your skin and turn into vitamin D3. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And all those little things add up to the most well-balanced, connected, healthiest life of all time. You know, your sleep cycle is more important than what you eat to a certain degree. That's how critical it is. And not just for repair, but for psychological, abilities, and to push off mental disorders. Our brains need to be functioning under a specific pattern in order for us to be in our full expression in this life. Otherwise, we're basically, chasing something while we're robbing it on the other end. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is that the whole scare of the sun was just kind of what I believe was a strategic move, and it was to get us wearing sunglasses and putting sunblock and fearing the sun, when in fact the sun is the ultimate food. I mean, that's how, we know about vegans, we know about vegetarians, we know about paleo, but we also know about breatharians that are living every day of their lives, some for years, without eating food.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
food they're receiving is the negative ions, the negative electrons, the UVA, UVB rays that's feeding the body. So this the sun's ability to turn our entire system on is at the center point of our entire existence. And I'm not saying you should be under the sun from, depending on what hemisphere you're in and any of that, from 11 a.m. to about 3, 4 p.m. You kind of want to not be under the direct sun.
Yeah.
The time you want to get the sun is on the rise, when it's
Yeah.
at 30, 40 degree crescent, and then on the back side of that as well, so you can get the sun gaze and activate all different types of neurotransmitters in your brain as the sunlight comes and hits your eye. I always do this little test. We take light for granted, right? So you're looking at me right now through this phone, and the phone is pretty much has a like an iris. That's how phones work. They project a light, it bounces back, and then they can capture an image. Same thing with our eye. And the reason why, and the same thing would be if we were just sitting in front of each other without the telephone. The reason why you can see my face and the reason why I can see your face is because some light source, whether it's the sun, whether it's artificial light, is bouncing off your face, and your face is mainly water, right? And they have like a crystalline structure to them. That light reflects off your face, those little tiny mirrors, hits my retina, shoots through my retina into cones that are made of DHA, in fact, send a message to the back part of the brain, sorry, I might have cut out, someone was calling. And then
Yeah.
all of a
Yeah.
sudden, in real time, like 0.0004 seconds, there's an image and you see my face. So let's just think about how trippy that is, right? And we're not like on LSD right now, so, but we can go into like the quantum reality of how exceptional this reality is, and how finite so many little things are doing, and specific stuff. We're not just looking and seeing something, we're embodying it and experiencing it. This is why I say what you watch on your social media and your television can literally train your entire governing system without you even consciously know it. Because whether you can see it or not, the fact that I can see you, and if you were staring right in front of me, and even now on this phone, that means that you are inside of me right now. Think about that. Your signature, your whatever you are in this reality, whatever we want to call it, is shooting its signature into my brain through my eyes and through light. It's light that's pushing this. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that imprints into my entire existence, and vice versa. I'll be imprinted right now in your existence. And it's the same thing when that's why we don't take it for granted how dangerous these phones are, because 150 years ago, we were in our reality and what we were experiencing. Now, in 5 minutes, you can go through 1,000 people's lives. You follow what I'm saying?
I know. It's
And we're hijacking all of that into our subconscious. This is not airy fairy hippie. This is neurological biochemistry science. This is all of it. And so I got off kind of on a tangent, but back to just, I'm trying to express how important our body is to getting what it's supposed to be getting. And so by you guys being nudists, how do you guys usually do the sun and all that stuff? What's the strategy?
So, I mean, I'm the same. I like morning. I prefer early morning sun.
Yep.
And same thing with what you were saying. I wouldn't go out spending all my time under the direct sun in the middle of the day for hours on end.
Yep.
A lot of people ask what sunscreen I use. To be honest, I don't like, and I know it's such a controversial thing, but I don't really use sunscreen because I don't actually sit there in the middle of the day just scorching in the sun. I'll either have, if I go to the beach or something, or somewhere where I'm under the sun, I'll have an umbrella and I'll sit under that for most of the time, but I will be in direct sunlight, usually in those early morning hours or late afternoon, without, feeling like I need to wear sunscreen. And I'll only be in the sun for, 30 minutes at a time or something like that. So I don't spend a whole heap of my time just
most people don't know that sunscreen, not only is it pharmacologically toxic, but what it does, in fact, is it robs your body's ability to prepare for the sun by not producing proper melanin, chain structures. Melanin is what gives me my color. It's my hair, your hair. Melanin is a pigment. And it's people that have been wearing sunscreen, their body's defense mechanisms weren't put up based on their anatomic structure, their DNA code, their epigenetics too. So this is epigenetics now, right? You follow what I'm saying? So this is above the genetics. So the environmental action, which is putting the sunscreen on, epigenetically predispose those people to higher risks of melanoma forms of cancer. You get what I'm saying? Do you see that? See how I reverse engineered that? This is all coming to me. I'm channeling right now. You follow what I'm saying?
So what would you...
Yep.
Sorry, if you want to...
No, it's just removing your body's ability to be functioning as it was carnated here to do causes us to be in positions where we're vulnerable, right? It's just like someone who, let's say he puts on, so like a bodybuilder, right? A lot of bodybuilders wear weight vests, or so they put a belt around their waist so they can push harder. But the studies are coming out that when you wear a belt, it might produce more size and girth in your hamstrings and stuff, but you're completely disabling your body's ability to have a strong foundation because you've handicapped it. You with me? So what we're doing, essentially, wearing clothes, right? So to go back to what you do, wearing clothes could be handicapping us epigenetically, right? To a certain extent. Wearing sunscreen, all that stuff. wearing
Yeah.
tight clothes, crazy tight clothes that are suffocating the body's ability to breathe. It's the skin, which is where we're exhausting all our toxins. It's our skin, it's our lungs,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah.
So what would you recommend? Do you believe that there's any way for us to, whether it's through food or supplementation, is there a way for us to enhance our ability to naturally protect ourselves from so if we're in the sun for an
Are you
extended
kidding me? Are you kidding me? The omega.
period?
Wait, did you
Yes.
plan this? Did you plan this?
No, no. I get a
Okay.
lot of people ask me, and the thing is, I don't believe in. I would never promote something I do not believe in. So when a lot of people, obviously as a nudist, a lot of people are going to say, "What sunscreen do you use?" And personally, there have been the rare occasions where if I've been on an island somewhere, I've put sunscreen on, but because I've literally had no shade. But other than that, I don't wear sunscreen. But so fill us in on what can we do if
What okay, so what's nature's sunscreen? What is nature provided to show us in nature what is the ultimate sunscreen? Well, it took me a while to figure it out. First, I thought it was bromelain, which is a potent antioxidant, strong anti-inflammatory, and then started researching it some more, and then I came across a um, a vitamin A slash carotenoid called astaxanthin,
mm,
and most people haven't heard of it, but it's starting to become popular. Astaxanthin is what makes flamingos pink. It's what makes salmon red.
I've got this here. I just want to show everyone what CHERVIN is talking about. So this is the DHA with the astaxanthin, and you can see that.
See that color? Wow. How good is that?
Amazing. Mm.
Right? It's unbelievable. So astaxanthin comes from a microalgae. Okay. And ours comes from Iceland. You saw me in Iceland at our facility, right?
Mm.
This specific algae, the the Latin name is Hematococcus pluvialis. Okay, so that's the actual strain. But what this algae does, which is very significant, and as you know, our DHA comes from another algae, right? Is that when this algae is disturbed, and one of the main ways of disturbing the algae is too much sun. For whatever reason, the algae just got hit with too much sun, and it was going into like basically, starvation mode, like how to protect itself. The green algae would turn blood red. Okay, the algae had an ability to create a carotenoid, which is a pigment, to protect its outer shell, and it's impenetrable by just about anything in nature. And so it's the same thing that makes crabs red, shrimp red. You know what I'm talking about? That
Mm-hmm.
they're red, salmon are red, and because of astaxanthin. And anyone knows a red salmon will make its way back to where it was born, upstream and doing that whole thing. White salmon have no idea where they're going. Salmon that don't have the astaxanthin in it. So
Really?
then researchers tested the astaxanthin, and guess what? Strongest antioxidant on earth, 6,000
Mm-hmm.
times stronger than vitamin C, 650 times stronger than vitamin E. It's unbelievable. And
Yeah, well,
now we know it to be one of the most beautifying nutrients because it does exactly what it does to a salmon, is that when we
mm.
eat it, it builds up on the outer layers and creates caking in our skin. So this is like, I'm not Botoxing people. This is my skin. All right. And
Good, CHERVIN. You're looking good. You look
thank
super
you.
healthy. That's the thing. It speaks for itself.
And I haven't slept in like almost 2 days. All right. I'm going hard over here, just so you know.
Why is that?
So
I haven't slept.
I haven't slept. I was on the phone all night with Europeans talking about this whole situation. I'm being asked by many, many groups all over the world to consult with them, some branches of the government, and so it's just been the lot. I'm just saying that because I haven't slept. And I'm saying that astaxanthin, something like that, if you just understand the science and the chemistry, you'd understand that nature has ways of protecting us. And yeah, and just getting periodical sun that builds your body's ability to protect yourself. It's just like anything else.
What about for people in like colder climates? So people that, you know, in the northern, like, you know, in just super cold climates that maybe don't really, like, it's whether it's too cold to get out naked in the sun.
Well, if they can afford it, you know, invest in red light therapy. Right. So if you're in northern hemispheres or like deep southern hemispheres, and let's say 9 months out of the year, it's, you know, it's either wintertime or dreary, right? That could take a toll on, you know, your body and your body's ability to function properly. Some genetics are more prone for that, right? So it just depends on the person, but just talk to your body and see how you feel. Vitamin D3 supplementation, obviously, that's you know, and make sure if you're not getting it from Cymbiotika, make sure you're getting it somewhere that's licensed to offer you like a plant-based D3, not synthetic stuff or coming from the sheepskin called lanolin. It's terrible.
I literally just got some from my mum because the doctors have put her onto like vitamin D supplements. So, Mum, we're getting you off that and we're getting you onto this. So we just got that from my mum and my.
How good is that? How good is that?
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's one of my newer, it's a newer addition to my apothecary, but it is amazing. And I think you mentioned it's better to take it in the, I've heard you mention it's better to take it earlier in the day.
Earlier in the day, because it's the same thing. Like, so we wake up on the day, we get up, it's dark, we walk outside, we're grounded to the earth, the sun comes, the sun touches the cholesterol on our skin, goes through a sulfation process, turns that into D3. D3 then triggers all kinds of different immunological response systems. We know that D3 governs 3,000 genes based on your immune system. And so it's the center point of your body's ability to know what to do and how to go back to homeostasis and how to attack inflammation, all that stuff. And so you want to take that. So you don't want D3 at night. You want to follow the same cycle because it's the D3 that gets pumped. And that's what turns on melatonin production. You know, people that can't sleep at night don't realize they can't sleep because they're not getting it up in the sun on the rise. They haven't put that together. Throw in the fact that we're all living in an artificial reality with TVs and Wi-Fi technology and non-native electromagnetic frequencies and blue lights and all this bullshit. Our complete internal clock is absolutely fried. You can see why we're dealing with chronic diseases at such a rapid rate, why so many people are sick, why so many people have mental issues, and we don't even realize that, you know, something is like obvious as our bodies, you know, perfect symbiosis with nature can take us out of all of the things that we thought we've worked so hard at, eating healthy, working out, but at the same time, we have no idea that we're just basically being fried from the inside out. It's full on.
It's wild. It's a crazy world. We've become so disconnected. Like we've become, you know, so much of this is so innate, you know, but we've become so disconnected to ourselves, our bodies, and we're so busy with all this external bullshit, I suppose, you know, like, and just constantly projecting our reality rather than actually like going inward and reflecting. And I think that's like a lot of the beauty of everything that's going on right now. Like I'm seeing so many, like where I live, I live along the river, and I'm seeing like more than ever so many people actually, and you can tell it's like they've gotten on their bikes, going for runs. And I mean, it's in a way, it's a beautiful thing what this, you know, what is going on, like what it's reminded us, like what's really important is taking care of our health, coming back to our bodies. So it's like I'm seeing all these people running and stuff, and I'm like, you know what, that's if that's a positive you can take out of it, is to start moving your body again, becoming active, you know, because a lot of us spend time at a desk sitting down. We're not made to sit down for these crazy long extended periods of time in like artificial lighting and all the craziness.
Beautifully said. Dude, absolutely. I mean, you got it. You're on point with everything. You see the the follies of our modern mechanistic world. And there's a reason why we call a berserker nudist.
I'm wild. I'm wild.
I know. You're, I love it. I gotta come to Australia and
For
cruise
sure.
around nude.
For sure.
You just gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with me nude. Let me tell you.
Why? What does that mean?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So, all right, I want to bring it back to body image. So, as identifies as a male, I don't want to be presumptuous, but someone that identifies as a male.
What do you mean you don't want to be presumptuous?
We have a lot of people identifying as different things these days, and you know, I teach.
You know what I am. You know what I am.
A berserker.
I'm a berserker king. I'm a Persian. Yeah. I'm a Persian carnated king in the 21st century. I'm a man.
Beautiful.
Let's not mistake that.
And I absolutely honor you. I love the wisdom that you're bringing, you know, to your community. And I think, you know, you're a super healthy role model for, you know, someone that is really living in their healthy masculine. And
thank you
there's
so
a
much.
lot of,
you know, for me, just being mentored early about health and about what's really going on gave me a perspective, right? And so that perspective was, you know, a good analogy is if you're chasing money your entire life, you're never going to get it. But if you chase your dreams and your intention and doing what you love to do, the side effect of that would be abundance, right? And it's the same thing with how we take care of our avatar. You know, if you're chasing because of the aesthetic, you're just going for what society deems as the look, you're basically going to be, you know, running in circles your entire life. Yeah. But if you were going for living the healthiest life of all time, and you were here to go through a beautiful journey and a beautiful process and really nurture your body and love your avatar, then the side effect of that is you'll have a physically fit body. And you'll, you know, so for me, I've been an athlete since I was, you know, 4 or 5 years old. I was a top athlete in 4 different sports where I grew up in San Diego, every sport. And I surfed 4 hours a day my entire life, at least. I grew up on, you know, in a place called La Jolla, which is the surfer's paradise here in Southern California. And my life was built around that nurturing and culturing of my power and my strength. And so your question is, how does the manipulation that's going on and the demasculating of the sacred masculine, how does that interfere with our perception of what we think of our bodies and how we should feel good in our skin? Or
yeah, so yes, like you were saying, it's, I suppose what I see a lot of is, you know, because of our social programming, because of media, whether, you know, pornography, there's so many contributing factors. And so people are just chasing a body type, like an ideal body type. But for me, the missing link, and I see it way too often, you know, it's either chasing that or it's either becoming super comfortable in really unhealthy habits. Like being like, you know what, I'm comfortable in my skin and I'm comfortable with eating shit, but hey, I'm confident because I've gotten comfortable, you know, in shitty habits. So for me,
they own it. They own it. They own it.
Exactly. Yeah.
They own it. They take ownership. Yeah.
I if anything, it's all intuitive, and it's really about actually like listening to my body, what it needs, rather than striving for some external sort of outcome. So I suppose,
I mean, how else? I mean, the latter would be living in complete disharmony with your identity and constantly, and that's why we have so many people that have, you know, they can't even see what they're looking at in the mirror is completely opposite of what's real, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's some type of dysphoria, right? So,
Mm.
and some kind of psychosis. Well, obviously those were developed over patterns of being traumatized as a child and being traumatized by the system and being traumatized by bullies and, you know,
Mm.
what's supposed to be good and how they've turned kids into these like, you know, crazy like gossipers and they're like click up. It just kind of brewed into society. That's the reality we're in. The
Yeah.
last 3 generations is like, well, what's happening? We're losing our complete connection to like loving each other, loving ourselves.
Mm.
It's become the opposite. It's like being emotional and out of your mind is like become like the new trendy, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about like all the drugs, all the pharmaceutical drugs, all the disassociate drugs, all the opiates. I'm not even talking about that.
Mm.
That's like throwing gasoline on this subject when it's lit
Yeah.
up, you know? And
Mm.
so, hey, look, let's just be real. We're in fucked up times, okay? It is what it is. If you are in denial about that, and you think that you can just namaste your way into enlightenment, you're going to
Mm.
be coming up with a rude awakening. Now, am I
Yeah.
saying that we need to be angry and in pain and trauma because of the collective and because of all the crap that's going on? Of course not. Absolutely not. But we got to be prepared and we got to be aware. We can't be disenfranchised in illusion because the masses are already in illusion for the most
Yes.
part. You know, they're living in illusion. And
Mm.
when you're in illusion, you're easily puppeteered. You're turned into basically a sheep. Very, very
Yeah.
simple. It's not
Yeah.
complicated. The psychological strings that you can pull when someone's already given their power away and in
Mm.
trauma is easy. It's like selling
Yeah.
ice to an Eskimo or whatever that whole line is, you know? And so, or taking candy from a baby, right? Um, so I think, you know, the more we educate ourselves, the more we get out of the, you know, the miasm, the illusion, and start really like getting ground. Like, how about this? This is an interesting one. This just popped in my head.
Mm.
Most people perceive themselves how they believe they are perceived by others.
Yes. Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah.
It's so
100%.
so it's like the guy's like looking at he pulls the mask off his face and he's looking at the mask and he's the mask becomes a mirror, right? Did
Mm.
you catch that? And so how do we get here? How do we get here? Okay, so now we know that this is the case. What do we do about it? Well, we have conversations like this.
Yeah.
We bring these
Yeah.
subjects to light and we
Mm.
teach kids from the jump start to cultivate and to love versus compete, have to
Mm.
win, have to be better, have to
Yeah.
be prettier, have to come from more wealth, have to
Mm.
have, you know, all of these different, these are all little micro illusions
Yeah.
and they completely are creating generations of adults from that childhood. And
Mm.
so now we're in a world right now where all the adults come fostered out of children like that. You follow what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see why we're
Definitely.
living in war and pain and fear and confusion and mass hysteria and lying and gossip and hoarding mentality. Not
Mm.
only should I succeed, but you should fail.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How the fuck did we get here? It's the absolute opposite of any indigenous tribe's functionality. If you
Yeah.
study any indigenous tribe from Iran to Afghanistan to all over Peru, I'm supposed to be in Peru right now leading a retreat, me and David,
Yeah.
and we had to
Yeah.
cancel it because of this bullshit. And
Mm.
so, and so the, just the, it's just crazy. Like, I could talk about this stuff for days. I mean,
I know. I'm the same.
yeah, it's just, I feel like I feel like I feel like Neo in the Matrix.
Mm.
I'm not kidding. I'm getting to
Mm.
that point.
Yeah.
I can see people as complete programmed algorithms in a as soon as I see someone, I immediately, it's like, and I can see every structure and box they've been put in, and all the resistance and all the pain and frustration, and you know, I can see it, and it's full on. Let me tell you, from my
It is.
lens, it's
Yeah,
full on.
I agree. I agree.
But I'm over
I'm
here, but I'm here smoking a joint with Mike Tyson.
happy days. So just quickly, I mean, I think, you know, if we were to give everyone here just like some practical sort of like, I suppose, some practical things to take away from this in terms of, you know, okay, so you guys are talking about that stuff, but I have no idea what the fuck you're on about. How do I get to that point of being more aware, of being more discerning, of being able to see through the veil, like being able to pierce that veil of, you know, this illusory state that we're sort of living in. You know, I always say, I think, you know, it starts with things that are so seemingly small. Like, for example, like a morning ritual, like just things that are so, just to connect with yourself. Like we're all so disconnected, and connection is the key. Like we've got to reconnect with ourselves in order to be able to even see clearly out of this lens. We've got to be more clear. Like we've got to stop, you know, eating shit, like filling our body with shit, putting shit onto our body. Like, you know, our skin's our largest organ, so people just think about what you eat, but we're absorbing stuff through our skin too. You know?
We gotta. So what you're saying is absolutely right. You hit it on the nail. It can't be one dimensional. It has to be like a complete. Because we're dynamic beings. We're dynamic bodies. We receive information differently. All different aspects. Remember what I told you about the optics and how the light travels? That's just one little micro step of how our body absorbs things. And so I think it's an overall plan. And for me, if you really want to get shit done, get fucking disciplined. And what I say by get disciplined is really, really do your homework and make sure you're getting the right information from the right people and start plotting it, because failing to plan is planning to fail. You follow what I'm saying? Failing to plan is planning to fail. You can't just wing it, okay? Especially if you're not a master. Even masters have to go back through their training again. The whole thing is right. You know, you chop wood, you carry water, you discover enlightenment. What do? You chop wood and carry water. Okay? You have to look yourself in the mirror. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and know exactly what you're looking at without any denials, any illusions, any lying, any of that. You've done it long enough. And then you got to really get structured with it. I think transcribing onto a canvas or a folder or notebook, start plotting it, writing it down. Don't type it. Don't put it in your notes on your iPhone. Write it down. Create a geometry. Learn who you are. Learn your human design. Go down the human design principles. Learn your gene keys. You know, like, start pointing out all the fuck ups you do. How do you waste your time every day? What do you give your time away to every day? Who in your life is a complete disaster that's sucking you dry? Okay, that's bringing you down, and you might not even realize it, but you got to meditate. Who's bringing you down? Look at yourself. Who are you bringing down? Are you discharging any of your shit on anyone unconsciously? Get clear with yourself. Wake the fake up. We need more people embodied. I can't stand, there's so many fucking people out there that have lost their shit. They're out of their mind. They have no control. And it kills me. It crushes me. You have to take your ownership back so you can build your faculties. You got to understand that you're probably dehydrated 99% of your life. Maybe you need to start learning how to drink proper water. Maybe you need to learn a little bit of basic alchemy of how the human body works, how to mineralize your body, how to electrify your body, how to reduce cortisol in your body, how to properly sleep, how to properly make love, how to properly eat, digest, go to the bathroom, detoxify, all of these things. All of these things. It's not one size fits all. And just saying this, make sure you only subject yourself to people that you vibe with, people that resonates deep into your core. So
I hear that so much.
it's
People just being like, but they're friends or their family, and it's like, it's a choice. It's a choice as well. Every day, it's a choice.
it's a choice, but most people can't even make the right choice because they're not in their bodies.
Mm.
You follow what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
not even there to be able to make, they've lost their ability to discern. So if you know me from
Mm.
Instagram, you know that the core of the foundation of what I stand for, what my tribe stands for, every major top athlete in the world that I now consult for, everyone from all walks of life, the first thing when they, get into like a session with me, it's discernment. It's boom,
Yeah.
this is the center point. Who's making decisions for you? Which part of yourself is under control of yourself, or something outside of you holds dominion over you, right?
Mm.
And get
Mm.
fucking real. Once you get real, then you can make a decision. And
Yes.
if it's, if you have family members, or you have, you know, children or spouse or anything like that, and you realize that they're a root of the main part of your problems, you gotta fix it. You
Mm.
gotta fix it.
Yeah.
You gotta get
Yes.
clear. And this is the time to do it.
It
If there
is.
was
It's
ever,
it's the
if
perfect time.
there's no other time better than this.
Mm.
You have it. There's no excuse right now.
Exactly.
There's no excuse. Because you can't force yourself to go to the club tonight. You can't
Mm.
force yourself to go into the office today. You can't, you know what I mean? So this is it. Like our construct, whether you want to believe in the COVID virus or not, something happened in the fabric of time, which has allowed this time for us to get fucking real and to start
Mm.
applying discernment to our life. You follow what I'm
Yes.
saying? This is
Mm.
it. If you don't take it right now, then just go on with your whatever the hell you're doing, because
I,
you
yes.
can't you can't it can't get any more clear. And our
I saw
lives are
it.
about momentum. They're about
Yeah.
momentum.
Sorry, just on that point you were making, I saw when people talk about all their goals and that sort of thing and things that they want to get done, and I saw something recently, and it was, if you're not doing those things now in this time, that we've been given, then you never lacked time, you lacked discipline. Like that's the thing, you never lacked time. If you're not getting done what you have been, manifesting or setting out to do, then you never lacked time, you just lacked discipline. And so discipline, like you were saying, discipline is the key. Discipline's the key.
That was a home run. What you just said was a say it again so everyone can like register what you just said.
Yeah. So what Shervin and I are talking about is, right now, like you were saying, whether you believe everything that's happening is real or not, in whatever way you perceive it, our reality has completely shifted, and we've been given probably a whole lot more time than we are used to work on our crafts, our practices, to perfect things that we've been, setting out to do. And if you're not getting those things done, if you are not getting those things done, you never lacked time, you lacked discipline. So,
Boom.
it's time to cultivate that discipline. There's no better time than now. No better time
Yeah,
than now to cultivate that.
I had that quote on my in some of my main like notebooks, my lifelong notepads, and
Mm.
where I had all my notes and stuff was you don't lack time, you lack discipline. And
Yeah.
so that right there, like just let that be your mantra for the next 2 weeks. Just say it, instead of doing your other mantras, whatever they are, salutations or whatever, just say that over and over. I
Mm.
don't lack time, I lack discipline. I don't lack time, I lack discipline. Like keep telling yourself that and just see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Try
I
it
mean,
out.
that might be a big enough wake up call for a lot of people right now. Just realizing it's like, fuck, I lack discipline. That's been the missing link for a lot of this. That's why I'm not, embodying like real, true, expansive health. That's why I'm not working out. Like whatever it is for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And most people, their internal self knows what's going on, no matter how much they're in denial or they've suppressed it. Their internal self is fighting that.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
because they're living basically a lie, what happens when you're in that state? Well, you turn for things to numb you out. And that could
Yeah.
be porn, that can be pornography, that can be disgusting food, That could be disgusting relationships. That could be heavy alcohol, addictions and drug addictions, and anything that has any kind of, distraction of taking you out of your element. And it's your right as a human being today to be your fully carnated soul.
Yeah.
We need you. Like, we need everybody at their top.
That's right.
Most of the people on this earth, how many of them, if you did it percentage wise, how many people on earth right now are living in their full dharma? Do you guys know what dharma means? Dharma means your spiritual and centered, grounded self knew exactly what your calling was in this life, and you chose it, and you're in it, embodiment to the fullest. So how many people are in what they were carnated here to do at this time, in this, whatever this is, this reality, epoch? History is all bullshit. We know everything they told us about the history is crap. So how many?
I'd say like less, if you, I reckon it's like less than 10%, like 10%, if
if that,
maybe,
right?
if that,
Yeah. If that.
So sadly.
So what does that?
So
what does that mean? So that means so let's just say 90% of the Earth are operating in complete destruction. Their entire system has been hijacked and infiltrated. Yeah. So now we have souls that are carnating, because people are now transitioning and coming back without any contracts, without getting anything done. Is it no wonder we're in the state we're in? I mean, hello.
Yes, and I mean, this is why I wanted to bring you on here. Like, I love the way you speak, super candid, and I'm just hoping that this really inspires everyone here to, if you're not already cultivating that discipline, I really hope that this conversation that CHERVIN and I are having today can at least inspire you to really start going inward, stop distracting yourself with all the shit that maybe you were beforehand, and dive deep. Like we keep saying,
or keep living in your reality.
All that too. I mean,
yeah, you know what I mean. Like, you gotta like give them that perspective, right? Because a lot of people, a lot of people are listening to this right now, and they have a lot of ego, and their ego, I would say 90% of the people that are listening right now are family and friends, and they're completely resonating with this message, right? But there's going to be that 10% that they hear what we're talking about, and they're immediately offended. They immediately have to insult. They immediately have to talk shit. Even people that are like on a phone, like, you're not even in my face around my crew talking shit to me. You are behind a screen. Like, who insults someone on social media?
I know.
Like, let's just think about that. How big of a bitch / punk motherfucker do you have to be to insult someone on a phone that you don't know?
Yeah.
And you can't even see the face. Like, how do we get here? Like, anyone in here that's listening to anything that I'm saying that has a problem with what I'm saying, just look at yourself in the mirror, all right? Just look at yourself in the mirror. And all the family that's on here that's giving love, I honor you. You know me. You know who the fuck I am. You know what my human design is. You know what I've carnated here to do. I could be sitting on an island right now getting massaged and getting fed biodynamic fruits all day long, and listening to the best music of all time, and basically festival life for the rest of my life. I could be doing that right now. No problem. I earned my stripes to do that. But what am I doing? I'm fighting every single fucking day. I'm working my ass off with my team to bring nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth.
And I honor your work, everything that you're bringing to Cymbiotika. I mean, this is the thing. It's like I could speak about this stuff all day, but I really did want to delve into like this B12. Why would someone get this B12 over something else on the shelf?
Where do I begin? Know, right? Yeah. Where do I begin? I mean, I've been in the supplement health industry since I was a child. I was mentored by David Avocado Wolf. He probably sparked the superfood movement, the raw food movement, cacao, all that stuff. That's from David, my cousin. And he showed me the ropes at such an early age. And my interest, part of my human design, is I'm an investigator, I'm an anarchist, and I'm a martyr. Kind of makes sense, right? And I just naturally, because of maybe my bloodline, I'm Persian, it went into that form of alchemy, which is like creating material alchemy that can generate spiritual alchemy. And that comes in all forms, from plant medicines to the alchemy I make with Cymbiotika. And I would say a lot of the inspiration with Cymbiotika is being in those interdimensional worlds. I have no problem saying that. And also being a scientist and really understanding what's being sold on the open market out there when people think are healthy. And so just to let you know what separates us is that we source the highest source in the world. Every single one of our ingredients, for the most part, are at the cream of the crop in their respected industries and are trademarked by the institutions that develop the highest bioavailable nutrients ever. And everything is completely done on the utmost level. So it's truth by transparency. I came into the supplement industry. I didn't care about cost basis or margins. My CEO didn't get it at first, but I said, you know what? This isn't about making money. This is about, basically bringing the highest level of alchemy to the earth and providing nutrients to mothers and children that are not getting it. I mean, what our mothers go through is so fucking crazy. I've done so many lives over the last month with mothers talking about their spectrum, their kids on the spectrum, the craziest births ever, the Pitocin, the whole thing, ultrasounds, to the whole entire monster foods they were giving the kids. It's insanity. So Cymbiotika was like, okay, I was just like, fuck this. I'm going to be a renegade. I'm going to do what I do, and I'm going to do it the best. So sourced it everywhere in the world. I mean, everything I get is from Iceland, from Nova Scotia, the D3, K2. It's the only vegan licensed certified D3, which comes from lichen, which is a cross between algae and fungus. The CoQ10 is, ubiquinol from Kaneka. I mean, on and on. And then from there, it wasn't just about getting the highest quality. It was about putting the right things together, because there's an entourage effect when you combine certain nutrients. You with me? And it's not done like what people can imagine, like with powders. They just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then you have a capsule or whatever. These are alive. All of our products are alive. That's why they come in. That's why they come in a Myron glass bottle. This bottle right here is worth more than most entire products alone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This bottle costs more. This is a glass Myron bottle. It blocks 480 nanometers of light. So no light can come in there and degrade what's in here. Why? Because the nutrients in here are alive. They're not dead. And we've taken them through technologies to create the most abundance in terms of absorption, which is liposomal technology, myceliation technology. These things are state of the art. So it's absorption. More absorbing, Like, let me give you an example. We're supposed to be getting our nutrients from food, right? Yeah. We're not designed to be taking supplements. We're supposed to be getting our nutrition from food, but the problem is the soil's shot.
That's it. Yep.
So the food's demineralized. So the food's toxic. So we're going to need to supplement because we're dying of deficiencies. My background is orthomolecular science, orthomolecular chemistry, and orthomolecular nutrition. That is the study of figuring out what deficiencies we have going on in our body that's causing us to go into chronic disease states. And so Cymbiotika is the journey of ortho.
I've never done a live with someone else, so, and I mean, it's an honor to do my first live with you, CHERVIN. Absolutely. Thank you. So always learning something new. But okay, we're gonna start wrapping it up. But I just, before you go, I did want you to quickly finish touching on the Cymbiotika stuff, just to help my tribe also, you know, develop more awareness around the products. You're the man to speak about it. So I just want you to finish on, you know, that you were talking about micelle technology and that sort of thing. And we're talking about absorption. Bioavailability is a big one that a lot of people don't realize when they're taking their supplements, is that they're basically pissing out all their money. So if you could just touch on that, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, so human beings are designed to get their nutrients from food. We're not getting it from food, so we got to mimic food. All of Cymbiotika products are food. They're not powders, capsules, tablets in a gelatin cap. They're actually alive and ready to be absorbed by the body, just like you're eating it from a food. And so with us, it's, you know, the proof is in the pudding, like going all the way to design the highest level of alchemy. For example, our Synergy B12, right? It's under the Synergy line because it's mycelated. It gets in that micelle, and it's a combination of different ingredients. So I don't just have B12. B12 is a dynamic nutrient. What is B12? What kind of vitamin is B12? What does that actually mean? It's a cobalamine. What does that mean? That means cobalt is at the center of it on its structure. B12 doesn't come from meat. It comes from bacteria, from the soil. We're supposed to be out there growing our own food. We're not doing it anymore. We don't get it. We have deficiencies, right? Which can lead to all kinds of problems. Synergy B12 is a combination of methylcobalamin, which is instant methylation, which is detoxification of all your cells. And the second one is adenosylcobalamin, very rare stuff. This is instant energy to your adenosine triphosphate storages, so the energy, so you can move and do action and movement. Also, we have L-methylfolate, which is at the center point of the reductase ion channel, which basically governs our citric acid cycle, or Krebs cycle. Have you heard of Krebs cycle before?
That doesn't sound familiar.
Krebs cycle is the cycle of our cells recreating themselves.
Okay.
So like mitosis, Krebs cycle is the actual process on how they decide which cells to keep around, which cells don't. This is such an important part of it. And so that, combined with fulvic minerals, basically distilled shilajit, with phosphatidylcholine and other nutrients that protect it, we've basically turned this into a super, super, super nutrient. And it's helping people across the board. That's what alchemy is. Alchemy is how you can transmutate something from this and make it like this. How can you synergize it? And that's what Cymbiotika means. I mean, that's Cymbiotika. It's living in harmony with each other. It's symbiosis. So that's just one of a million things. And what we have out right now is changing the game.
I mean, I've got it all. I love it. I've got it all.
Was that Rumi in your hand? Was that Rumi?
I've got Rumi, I've got B12, I've got the CBD, the Nexus. I to be honest, I haven't actually taken this one yet, because I've actually been taking the Nexus at night, and my sleeps, like my dreams are so crazy vivid. Like I wake up and I'm like, I've literally been in another reality, like, you know, in another reality. But this, like, I've been taking this one in the evening, so I actually haven't tried the Rumi yet. Like, I've got it on my bedside table because I definitely want to try it. But I've been taking this one in the evening, and like, oh my god,
it's phenomenal. Magic. Phenomenal.
Like, next level, so epic. Like,
it's the only CBD product that's ever been combined with DHA. Like,
and
maybe that was
understand that, right? So,
well,
like,
our endocannabinoid system is made of DHA. So the actual receptor sites in our body, CB1 and CB2 receptor sites, one controls the brain, the other controls your innate immune system, are actually made of DHA. So what did? We took full spectrum organic plant CO2 extracted CBD, all the cannabinoids, not just isolate, and mixed it with the omega-3. Game over. With sea buckthorn oil in there. So you have omega-3, 6, 7, and 9 with the cannabinoids and tetrahydrocurcumin, C3. Do you see it on the bottle? Read that.
I don't know if you can see with the light reflecting, but
Read it for them.
So it's activated CBD and curcumin C3. Super
C3.
organic lemon carbon technology.
Everybody knows what curcumin is. It comes from turmeric, and we know it's a strong anti-inflammatory, but did you know that you can only absorb like maybe 3% of it? It has to be metabolized by the liver. This form of curcumin, the tetrahydrocurcumin, has already been metabolized. So it immediately goes into effect.
Mm, that's amazing. It is. And I can literally feel it. Like, you know, as like, I take it at night because for me, it's just like, I can literally feel it. Like within a matter of...
You have someone here wrote, what a load of shit. Okay.
Who's now, oh, sorry. I'm not even reading. I'm like, there's so much bull. Like people, I mean, I haven't been taking...
You got a lot of Aussies on there. Aussies are a little bit confused to a certain degree, just like a lot of Americans here. I would not take my word for it, but go research on your own.
Yeah, that's
so never take my word for anything. I'm just a messenger. You go and take a look for yourself, and hopefully your body's not filled with GMOs, toxins, parabens, and all other forms of corroding activities that has basically removed your entire process of discernment, and you're basically just a zombie right now. I hope that's not the case.
But I mean, yeah, I love them, and I'm, you know, super honored to be part of the tribe and be able to share this with people, be able to bring you on here and chat about this. I know it's a lot for people to take on, but like, you know, research, check it out for yourself. And I mean, I'll talk a little bit more about it and put some stuff up about it as well. But
we'll do another one of these soon when I'm in my home, and we'll go completely berserk. I enjoy them. This is what I enjoy. I love talking about these kinds of things. I don't care who it is I'm talking to, someone on the street or the president of Serbia, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or the president of Iceland, who I stayed with. Doesn't matter to me. I don't operate like that.
I'll let you go. You were saying you were smoking a joint with Mike Tyson, so
I'm gonna go back in there, watch my stories. I'm gonna do some funny stories with Mike Tyson right now. Awesome. And we're gonna have a good time.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me, for sharing your truth, your wisdom.
Hey, what's your ethnicity? What's your bloodline?
My mother she's Filipino. She was born in the Philippines, so we've got Spanish in our bloodline as well. Then my father's got the Irish and Scottish.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool.
That's what I know of so far. Yeah.
Interesting. Are you first generation?
First generation. Like my mother was born in the Philippines.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're first generation.
Yeah. So
you were born in Australia?
I'm born in Australia.
So you're raised Australian, but your bloodline is from the Philippines.
Yeah.
So that means you're first gen. Yeah. Okay.
First gen. Okay. Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Persian.
Yeah, my parents immigrated from Iran.
Yeah.
And I was born here as an American.
Yeah, right. But both your parents are Persian, right?
Both Not parents, yeah. No, yeah. I'm pure blood.
Yes.
Like thousands of years. I've done some DNA testing. It's pretty crazy. I'll share it with you offline sometime.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting.
None of this is by chance. This is already written. It was already written.
Yeah.
But as man, you're predestined. But as man, you must make the choice, and you must take the first step.
Yes.
So when you get to cross, like, you know, crosses in the road, you're given a decision. You got to make that decision, which way you're going to go. And life will only give you so many. You don't get them. It doesn't keep coming. Tune in on that. Love you, sister, forever.
You too. Yes, you too. Yeah. Thank you. I see you. I honor you, and it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. So I can't wait to do it again, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you for joining everyone as well. Thank you for being present with us. Thank you so much for sitting here with us.
Thank you, family. Love you guys.
All right.
Bye.
I'll talk to you soon.
Aloha.